Hey guys, what's going on? This is BSP. My apologies. Just had some technical difficulties here going on with my system. So now I'm able to share a screen. So I'm going to go ahead and share that here in a little bit. But today I'm doing part three: how to live in Japan, getting a spouse visa here in Japan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you the screen itself. Get back up here. Sorry. That way you'll know, you can see what's going on. So let's go ahead and get into that. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Make sure you can see that. And there we go. So share my screen. I'm gonna get this set up for you. Okay. So all right. So I'm gonna go to my channel. You should be able to see this screen I got up set up here now. I'm just trying to see what's going on here. If not, I may have to just do something different. But okay, so yep, just told me to remove that video. Got another video coming up here. So let me see here. Just get everything set up here for you. Yeah, I like to try to work on my live videos here using an OBS platform. I used to use StreamYard, and I'm just trying to get this thing to do what I want to do. I was testing it last night, and it seems to be a little bit of a presenting some issues for me. I may go back to StreamYard because StreamYard was a lot easier for me to do things. This OBS is free, but I just want to be able to get this thing set up for you. So let's see here. This might be it right here. Make sure that everything's looking right. I'm definitely going to share my screen. See if I can get this working here. Because this is important. This is important information today, guys. Important information here. I'll do another video, man, on my taxes. I just got my taxes done here in Japan for the first time. I had to worry about I had to do my taxes, and so I will show you how that's working. Let's see here. That's not it, man. I really don't like having issues with my stuff, man. I like to be professional and trying to get my video streaming lines better, and I have to deal with this right now, and I can't see my video at the moment, so which is not good. I know a friend of mine was telling me how to use this system, and it's really good, but once you gotta get used to it, you gotta work out the bugs. I'm having some bug issues over here, so for some reason I don't see my video. I'm gonna go to switch my account for a minute just to make sure that it is working, so then I can go ahead and get into the video here. So in some underpasses, let's see here. So I don't want. Okay, got it. Okay, I'm good. So here we go. And I knew what I had to do here. So you can see this screen here. So let's go ahead and get into this. Okay, my apologies, guys. My apologies. So okay, this one is, like I said, how to live in Japan, part three, getting a spouse visa when you live in Japan. Okay, so a lot of you, what will happen is you'll come here on a work visa, and you'll fall in love with a Japanese woman, or if you're a lady, you'll fall in love with a Japanese man, and then you will start to think about marriage. You'll actually get married at your local city office before you even have a wedding or whatever you plan on doing, and then at that time you can go ahead and apply for a spouse visa. Now, I have up here the website, Ministry of Foreign Affairs Japan. You can see it right here, MOFA, mofa.go.jp. I'll put that link in when I'm done. And last time I talked to you about the spouse visa, I said that there was only a 1, 3, and a 5 year period of stay, but there's actually a 6 month period of stay too. So they actually have 4. Now, this is a really simple page. You can click it in your respective languages. You can click in Japanese, and I'm sure they have some other languages up here. But basically, all you need is your passport, which you're going to have anyway because you're in Japan. And then you need like one visa application. Now, for people from Russia, the CIS countries, and Georgia, you're going to need 2 visa application forms. Most people will need only 1 photograph. The same thing with people from Russia, CIS countries, and Georgia. You're going to need 2. But guys, the big thing up here is a certificate of eligibility. I had to do one when I lived outside Japan. you will still have to do one when you live in Japan, because that certificate of eligibility is, letting you know, or letting the Japanese government know that it certifies that you, the foreign national, can conform to the conditions for living in Japan. Okay. That means that whatever you put in it, it can't be false, as it says right here. It can't be false, and it is one of the activities, except temporary visitors, that's stipulated in the Immigration Control Act. Okay, so by presenting the COE, the visa application at the embassy or consulate, and landing examination at the passport control will be processed smoothly. But it said that here it says, please note that a COE does not guarantee the issuance of a visa. Okay, so that's what you gotta work on that. So it's all on this page right here. I don't need to go on the details. You guys can read. You can see what's going on. But I just wanted to correct a couple things, and I also wanted to touch base on some other ones too. So I thought you needed to leave the country, but in this case, you don't. If you're here, like I said, on a working visa, you can go ahead and transfer over. All they're gonna do is basically it's just a change of status. You go from work visa to spouse visa. Okay, and then when you put your visa application in, it's not they're not going to guarantee you, like say if you want to put in for 3 years, that doesn't mean that you're going to get a 3 year. Okay, it is up to the agent that you're dealing with, and they're going to determine what you need. Now I do know that the more information you have in there on yourself, mainly paid taxes, own property, whatever the case may be, you're going to get a longer term. Like myself, last year when I had applied for my redid my spouse visa, I had but of course I bought land, and I was getting my house built, but my house wasn't ready yet. But I did own land. I showed that I paid taxes, and my lawyer told me that. She said, "Hey, you want to put that information in there because it's going to help you get a longer term." Because my goal at that time, and your goal should be the same thing, is to get at least a 3 year. Because if you can get a 3 year spouse visa, guess what? Once you're married for 3 years to your Japanese spouse, or most of you who've been married over 3 years, get a 3 year, then you can start to apply for a permanent residence card. And which is what I'm getting ready to do now that I have my taxes out the way. I think we got one more thing. I think my wife has to renew her passport this week, and then boom, we'll be hot and heavy into doing our permanent residence, which I will be talking about that later. So yeah, so you gotta make sure that don't get disappointed. What I'm trying to say is don't get disappointed when you go ahead and put in for your spouse visa, and then you get something back that says, oh, you only got a 1 year. Well, whoop-de-doo, just next year you do it again. You'll be better at it, but you're eventually going to get a longer spouse visa term. But like I said, you don't want to always stay on this. All right. Now, I want to bring up another thing here that I had said in my video. I watch my videos to make sure that everything that I say is true or factual, whatever the case may be. But I said something in the video last time about I'm worried that, or not just me, but anyone, like that guy I told you about whose wife had passed away. He was here on the spouse visa, and he had to leave Japan. He was at the city office with his stepdaughter. I don't know why his stepdaughter didn't sponsor him to stay in Japan. Maybe it's because she was already an adult. So here's what I'm trying to say. So I have two school-age children, small. My daughter's 3 years old. My son's 12. And I know I have some friends over here who are also in the same boat. What I read, I just Googled it and I got the answer. Is you can Google it, you'll say, can I stay in Japan with Japanese children, right? Both my children are Japanese and American, but they're dual citizenship, right? So, and the answer is yes. And the way to do that, so here's a scenario for you. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because, if you and your spouse decide to get divorced, because most of the time people don't really pass away. But if that did the same thing, if they passed away like this guy did, his wife did, then it's still the same situation. So what it says is that you will have to apply for a spouse or child of Japanese national visa, even though your children are going to be, because your children are Japanese, you can live in Japan on your children if as long as they're dual citizenship, as long as they're Japanese. So like I said, I have two children that are Japanese. I got some friends, another friend of mine who just had another baby, has two children that are Japanese. I got another friend living in Saitama who has a child that's Japanese. So you can live here just on your children alone. But what you're going to need is you're going to need proof of that you're the father. So mainly a birth certificate, but in most cases, your Japanese spouse has had you on a Koseki Tohan, the family register originally, which will show the births of your children, that they're your children. You need those kind of documents. You go and apply for your visa, and then you're going to get that visa because your children are here. They are not going to have you leave Japan with Japanese children that can live here legally because they're Japanese, right? They can live here, so therefore, who's going to take care of them? A parent, right? And this is not, now here's another thing I want to say too. Even if your wife gets to keep the children, you still can apply to stay here because your children are there, your children are Japanese. Because who's going to take care of these people, right? So I just want to get that out. And then over the years, you can then apply for a permanent residence. So for those of you that are getting divorced in Japan, if you will, it's okay. You're going to be fine, as long as you have children, you have school age children that you are responsible for taking care of. Okay, you know, relationships go different ways. People don't know how they're going to go. Nothing's guaranteed. I mean, I always say that the people that haven't been married as long run the more risk of getting divorced. All right. Somebody like me, I've been married. I'm 17 and a half years to my wife. We're cemented in our relationship. You get some people out there who've been married 20 years and they get divorced, but that's because their kids are already grown and they decide to go separate ways. But, for the most part, if you're married more than, say, 3 or 4 years, you're pretty much going to be set in your marriage with your wife. That means you're going to be successful. But like I said, a lot of people will get divorced within that first couple years because they just can't stand each other. The husband's not going to get into the culture. The wife's not going to get into the husband. Everybody's got their differences, right? So their problems, whatever the case may be. So I just wanted to bring that up here. Now, what I want to say too, also, when you're switching over from a work visa to a spouse visa, the beautiful thing about that is that now you don't have to work for said employer. You know how you work for somebody and you're sick of this guy and sick of this company, and it's not easy to move around between jobs in Japan. As you know, even for Japanese, it's not easy to move around. So a lot of people, what they do is when they get married, then they say, okay, you know what? I'm going to look for another job, or I'm going to start a business, or I'm going to do this, that, the other. They can do other things. Um, because now they're not staying here because of some employer. So that's a big benefit of having been on spouse visa. Now, there's a lot of people here who been here for years and they're still on the spouse visa. That's okay. But I think the reason why they are still on the spouse visa is because they don't know the permanent residence deal. I didn't know anything about a permanent residence in Japan, of course, before. But now I know all about the permanent residence. I didn't even know they had a permanent residence thing when I was living. I could have said, hey, maybe I've worked here for 10 years and tried for permanent residence. Because you can also get a permanent residence. Of course, it's not about permanent residence, but I just want to say a lot of people get them just on points. There's a video out there that a guy is interviewing these people, and the guy's like, I'm never leaving Japan. I got my permanent residence. And this American couple from Virginia, they got their permanent residence because they've been in the country long enough. So what I love about being in Japan, what I love about living in Japan, is that they may not seem like they're fair, but they're fair. They really are. They're fair in what they do. They're fair in how they handle things. Yeah, paperwork could be a bitch, but it's only because it's in a different language. But like this type of thing, look at this website. The MOFA website is in English, so you can read it in English, and you can check anything else. You can look at different regions, foreign policy, about us, whatever. Go back to the council services, work a long-term stay. You can click on anything else and go back to what you're interested in. So like if you want to do work visa, you type in work visa. you know. So with that said, guys, I'm gonna go. My wife just beamed me. Let's say dinner's ready. I just want you guys to get to see this. I'm gonna do a part 4 on permanent resident, or not permanent resident, but another way to stay in Japan. So this is BSP. I will talk to you guys later. I'm just glad I was able to get up here and do this. So that way, make sure that everything is working. Like I said, I still got some technical issues I gotta do, I gotta take care of. But other than that, I just want to be able to, you know, make sure everybody's all right. Make sure you know what's going on. So, with that said, this is BSP. I'm out. I'll talk to you guys later on. Peace out.